This training is to go over how to add a new client to an existing household, but also how to add that new client to an existing entry record. So first, let's pull up our client, Tess Testerson. When I click on the Households tab, I see that he is currently the member of an extended family unit. In his household there is himself, Tess Testerson, the head of household, marked as self, cousin Testerson, not the head of household, marked as cousin, little Testerson, not the head of household, marked as son, and wifey Testerson, not the head of household, marked as wife. We see that there are some various dates of when they joined the household. Tess Testerson, the head of household, this household was formed on November 15th of 2018. Along with him were little and wifey. They both joined on the same day. Remember that joined household date does not mean when the household was created in real life, but it's merely when the household was created on Service Point for the first time. So we see that cousin Testerson didn't join the household until December 1st. So what do we do if we want to add a new person to the household? For this example, I'm going to say that a newborn was born to the family. So what we're going to do to add this person to the family is to click on Manage Household down here. And then clicking on Add/Delete Household Members. So since we're going to be adding a client to the household, we're going to be hitting the expansion arrow next to Add Clients to the household. After hitting that expansion arrow, you see that this section explodes down here. Client Search and Client Number. This is the exact same search options that you get when you're using Client Point, where you can search for a client by their name or social security number or etc., or you can search for them by client ID number if you already know it. In our example, there's going to be a newborn born to the family, so we know that they don't have an existing client number yet. I'm going to type in the first name of newborn to mark that this is newborn Testerson. I'm going to mark the correct name data quality as well as the rest of these fields. For this example, I'm going to leave social security number blank and mark it as client doesn't know. Never fill in the blanks if you're not sure. Don't put zeros or 1 or anything else because that is an actual number and it will count as a social security number. It's okay to leave it blank if the client does not know. Now we're going to click search, and it won't come up with any answers, of course. And now we're going to click add new client with this information to create this client in HMIS. Here is our new client that we created, newborn Testerson. These are the select clients that will now be a part of the existing household. So I'm going to click continue. Now it takes me to the window where I get to review the entire household. Here is our new member, newborn Testerson. We have to fill out these answers for him or her. Is this the head of household? And that's going to be, of course, no. There will only be one person in the household marked as yes. Then we put the relationship to head of household. For newborn, I'm going to mark daughter. Then we put the joined household date. Again, this is not the day that they became the joined the household in real life. It's the day that they joined the household on HMIS. Now we have correctly marked that the new person in the household, newborn Testerson, who is a daughter, is joining the household today, April 19. So we're going to scroll down to the bottom of this window and click Save and Exit, and we'll be returned to the household screen. And now we see the household summary once again with a new person added, newborn Testerson. No age yet, and that's normal because we haven't yet filled out the universal data elements for this new person. And we see that she joined the household today, April 19, 2019. So now that we've added them to the household, how do we mark that they've also entered the family's record? We're going to click on and we are still on Test Testerson's tab, we're going to click on his entry exit. We see the list of all previous and current entry records. We're going to find the one that we're going to be practicing on, and that's this one down here, HMIS Training Program, Continuum of Care Funding, Transitional Housing. For this item, we see that Test Testerson and his household started on February 10, 2019. And because there is no exit date, it's presuming that they are all still there. So how do we add the final household member? Let's start by reviewing this record. We're going to click on the pencil next to the project start date. What this screen shows us is that on February 10, these clients were entered into this project: Test Testerson, Cousin Testerson, Little Testerson, and Wifey Testerson. We do not even see the child on this list. This is normal, and we will get to that in just a moment. Do not click on this button here that says Include Additional Household Members. You want to avoid that one on this screen. Instead, we're going to continue into the actual household record and add newborn Testerson from that screen. We're going to click Save and Continue. Instead, we're going to click on this button that says Include Additional Household Members. So let's do that now. From this screen, we see all potential household members. We see Test Testerson, Cousin Testerson, Little Testerson, Wifey Testerson here, and Newborn Testerson, who is not associated with this entry. There is also another test client down here, Mini Testerson, and in previous trainings, this client had left the household. So we can ignore them right now. Let's just focus on Newborn Testerson. To add Newborn to the household, I'm going to check his name to add it to the list of other checked names. After checking Newborn Testerson's name, I'm not going to change this date just yet, because it is still true that for the rest of the household members, their start date was 2/10/2019. So let's just click Save and Continue to return us to the previous screen. Now we see Newborn Testerson here, and everyone else has a project start date of 2/10, but we're going to edit just Newborn Testerson's to be today's date. So I'm going to click on the pencil next to Newborn Testerson's start date and change just Newborns to be today, April 19, 2019. And as you can see, only Newborn's name is checked in this selection box up here. So I'm going to click Save and Continue once more to be returned to that previous screen. And now I see that all the rest of the household joined this project on 2/10, but Newborn Testerson did not join until 4/19. There is a final note to keep in mind when filling out project entries for newborns. I'm going to scroll down here and illustrate. I'm going to click on Newborn Testerson to go straight to her UDE record. So this will need to be filled in as we would normally. So I'm going to do that quickly. I've gone ahead and filled everything out except for a few different things. One is the relationship to head of household. So because this is the child of the head of household, we're going to mark this as head of household's child. And then for date of birth, we're going to mark the correct date of birth. Because of how timestamps work in Service Point, you do not want the date of birth to be the exact same as the day that they entered the household. So if they were born today, then their entry date to the family should be 4/20, and also their entry date to the household should be 4/20. So in this example, I had said that the entry date into the household was 4/19, and their entry date into the record was also 4/19. Because I select that, and also because I'm saying this is a newborn, then the birthday will be 4/18. Again, first you want to make sure what the actual date of birth is, and since it's a newborn, their entry date into the household and also to the project should be the next day. So give it 1 day of grace between the date of birth and the date of entering the project or joining the household. and that's why I've chosen a date of birth of 4/18. And then also don't forget to choose a date of birth type. In this case, this is a full date of birth reported. Reminder, each of these sections are meant for different people in the household. So where it says client prior residence for head of households and all adults, this does not include the newborn child. It is the same with permanent housing. This only needs to be recorded for the head of household and all adults. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Exit now, and it's going to return me to Tess Testerson's screen showing his record of different project stays. And now we have completed the entry of a new household member into this project. To confirm what we've done, let's go up here to find newborn Testerson and go to newborn Testerson's profile. Now we're looking at newborn Testerson's profile, and we're already on the Entry Exit tab, and it's showing that she has a record also for that same entry. Her project start date was 4/19/19 because that's what we told it to be. So this concludes our explanation of how to add a new household member to an existing household, and then also how to enter that new member into an existing entry record where they don't have the same entry record dates from each other. If you have any questions, please reach out to the help desk by submitting a ticket or calling us at 602-908-3605.